Good afternoon. I am Matthew Tubasing, and I'm running for president. Matt, 2024. My main platform is just going to be people first. I've joked around in the past about I'm going to make the W one syllable, and I throw that out there because I want to have some fun with this. And let's face it, there are often times in our life where if we don't laugh, we'd be crying. We are living in interesting times. Trump just announced his presidency, his run, and geez, I don't know whether to edit that out or just leave it as it is. But in any event, last time we went through this, I indulged after that heavily in the internet because of because of all the chaos that he brought to it, and that was 2015. We're talking 7 years ago now. I have gone in and out of just being heavily involved in being on the internet, and largely as a consumer as opposed to being a creator. That's changing. I decided he just announced his run last night, and I thought about this, not in terms of what it means like politically, what it means to me personally. And I am not going to get suckered in to watching the clown show that's going to be the internet with him back in the running. That started back in 2015. It was a huge distraction, and I know even as I was indulging in this distraction, I realized that all of this that we tend to be so infatuated with is a distraction from the important things in life. And I'm not going to get suckered into that this time around. It's going to be, I'm pretty sure, even wilder now, because he has all the enemies that he had back in 2015, some of whom have flipped to support him, supposedly, but then flipped back, like after January 6th, and then flipped back again. So we know who all those people are. You know, they're trying to be Machiavellian, but they're just idiots. We know who they are, but he has a number of enemies, either going back to 2015 or the ones he's made in the meantime. And let's face it, given how the midterms turned out, there are not going to be a whole lot of people who want to see him even in the race. I'm almost positive he is not going to get the nomination. But I'm not going to be invested in that. I have things to do with my life. I've been putting them on hold because of the nonsense, because of the idiocracy we've been practicing since 2015. And there are things I want to do in life, things that are important, and I need to get to those, which means, hey, instead of watching videos, make a video. So, people first. Well, what does that mean? Okay, we the people of the United States of America. We the people, then the United States of America. Focus on that. It doesn't say we, the United States of America. It is not America first, it is people first. It is people first, then the United States of America, because when somebody says America first, what do they mean? The federal government, the elite, and then, well, maybe kind of everyone else if we get around to it. Yeah, no, that don't fly. Uh, what I'm going to what I'm going to strive to do in my campaign is point out the scam that is almost every aspect of our society, and how to fix it as individuals and communities. And I assure you, the last thing anybody running for any office, and yeah, that's a little bit of an exaggeration. There are some good people out there, but for the most part, if somebody's running for public office, they're not doing it to help you become a better person. They're doing it to make government bigger and to make themselves more powerful. When you look at the things that have been pointed out over and again by any number of people whom are successful and say these are the things you should focus on in life, like, well, balance and exercise, being in nature, having a social network, building a community, all of these things that are the important things to individuals to lead a healthy life, both mentally and physically. That's not what the government promotes. For example, when George Bush was starting his fake war and he wanted the American people to do something to help, he said, go out and buy stuff. So here we have a fake war, and he's promoting consumerism as the way to fund that fake war. And God, to think we could be living in the greatest country in the world, and yet we're out there fighting fake wars and buying stuff to fund them. Oi, that is ugly. That is just plain ugly. But, you know, those in government, the so-called public servants, they're not going to get in government and say, what you need is to exercise, be in nature, build strong communities. They're not going to say that stuff because that doesn't keep you reliant on government. So they're going to just do a whole bunch of other stuff, all of which is a scam and a lie. We'll be going over that kind of stuff in detail in the future, but I just wanted to inform you there are a whole number of things that I want to do in life. I'm getting a little long in the tooth. There's not that many good years left. If I don't get off my ass and put my nose to the grindstone, and by that I mean these things that I want to do, however hard they may be in the moment because of resistance and self-doubt, it's not like working some job that I hate to make somebody else rich. They're the things that I really want to do. It's just hard to even get started at times. And for example, in terms of painting, I have a great idea. I draw it out. I start painting, and then it's like, this is work. This doesn't look the way I envisioned it. You got to keep plugging away. If you want to do stuff like that, starting is not good enough. You got to do the middle, and then you have to do the end, and it's a whole process. And I have learned why there is so much resistance along the way in each part of the process, and why it gets harder the farther in you get, no matter how grand the vision is to begin with. I know what that's going to look like more or less when I'm done, so why aren't I working on it? Well, I will, because I'm not going to be paying attention to Trump. I'm not going to be distracted. I'm not going to be out there buying a bunch of stuff to fund our military machine. I'm going to be doing what's important in life, And I am going to communicate that to anybody who chooses to follow. And I am going to, I don't want to say show the way for everybody like I'm a life coach or something, but I will give out advice and suggestions as to how to do the things that are important in life so we're not bogged down with the clown show that has become our brand of politics in this country. But I just wanted to throw all that out there because, in short, what happens when somebody like Trump runs for office and says, we're going to make America great? Well, by the very fact that he is running for office, he is taking America down step by step because he is a distraction. Because the individuals, we the people, are not doing what's important in life. We're seeing what his next angry tweet is. We're constantly distracted, and our lives, which could be great things, whether anybody on the internet thinks so or not, that doesn't matter. If we're living the way we truly believe we should be living, we're living a great life, no matter how much anybody on Facebook likes it or not. That doesn't matter. And that's what I'm going to communicate, and that's what I'm going to try to help people to do to become more like I am endeavoring to become. And I know I can do this. I've quit a whole bunch of things in my life. So staying off of social media, I'm not going to do it 100% like many of the things that I've had to quit, but I'm going to cut way back, and it's going to be constructive and productive stuff instead of getting caught up in all the stupid bickering and arguments and trolling and the nonsense, the clown show that we have become. So, yeah, people like Trump, they are never going to make America great. Well, let me rephrase that. They will make America great in terms of bigger government, more tax cuts for the elite, more rules and regulations which give corporations power over the individuals. But see, that's not what we want. The biggest single component in the United States is we the people. All that other stuff, the military, cops, the government, the elite, corporations, all of that other stuff is minuscule compared to we the people. It's time we start looking after we the people. The government is not going to do it. Capitalism is not going to do it. Nothing is going to do it except the individual. And the individual working with other individuals in order to improve the quality of our lives. We saw that in Texas when they had their freeze. It was people helping each other in terms of firewood, fuel, food. The government wasn't out there helping them. The people were helping each other. And in terms of, for example, Kentucky, when they had those tornadoes that ripped through and tore half the state apart, it was largely people working together to recover from that terrible event. The government, you can't rely on it. I believe it was Abbott who said in Texas after that freeze, you can't rely on us to take care of you. You have to do that for yourself. Well, we've been told. We understand that now. It is we the people. So we have to start watching out for ourselves and each other, and we have to communicate what are the important things in life and start doing those things. When you spend money on an event, going out for a hike, going out with people, wherever, to the beach, a concert, wherever, that money is psychologically, that is so much better than if you take that money and buy something. Because every time you buy something, yeah, you get a little dopamine kick and it's like, wow, I got this new whatever. That wears off really quick. And then you have to go out and buy something else. Whereas when you go out with friends to do whatever, you're going to remember that. And you're going to bond even closer with those friends because you have this shared experience. These are the important things. I am going to help all of us turn away from consumerism and try to knit communities that can withstand all of the stuff that's constantly coming down the pike in terms of human existence. I mean, let's face it, right off the bat, we have these bodies we have to take care of. Right there, that's a lot of work. Then we got nature, and boy, she can be, well, we all know what she can be. So we have to deal with that. And, how do we do these things? As individuals, being as self-sufficient and resilient as possible while understanding we are all interdependent. We rely on each other. Nobody is out there living in the wilderness completely alone with absolutely no help from society. So we need to build a strong society by building strong communities, by spending our money wisely, not on stuff, but on the important events that we're going to remember because we shared that with loved ones. So we, the people. This was just very much ad hoc. I just turned on the camera and started talking. I more or less had a theme that I was going to go about, but I was just speaking off the cuff, and I didn't say exactly what I wanted to say, how I wanted to say it, but it's not about perfection. It's about getting my word out there. And what I want to say specifically, well, that means writing up a script and doing a little bit of practice. And those videos take longer, so you'll see more of those. I say we the people, but concerning that, it's going to be about air, food, water. And I'm going to focus on those three things very much so in coming videos and go about exactly how our air, water, and food are being corrupted. And while this mostly affects, well, let's put it this way, the farther down the economic scale you go, the more this is going to affect you because the more you are going to be dealing with corrupt air, water, and food. But it goes all the way up to the top. I don't care how rich you are. You can't get away from corrupt air, water, and food. We have put toxins in every little iota of our environment, and we can't get away from it anymore. So we will talk about that. Yeah, Trump's running. I would be willing to bet everything I have that even if he gets the nomination, which I doubt he will, he's not going to win. And I would be willing to bet half of what I have, he's not even going to get the nomination. So let's see what happens, but I'm not going to get distracted with the clown show. I have things in life I want to do. I know I'm not going to actually become president, but I want to change the dialogue because what they're talking about is just all lies and a scam, and it's not the reality that we as individuals can be living if we're focusing on the important things in life and living life like that. If you're focusing on the really important things in life, it doesn't matter if a gallon of gas is up to $4 or it doesn't matter if, well, all of that stuff I'm going to go through in other videos. But the nonsense that they use to distract us from what's really important, because if we were all doing the really important things, we wouldn't be voting for the clown show that they keep putting in our federal government. They don't want us to do those things. They don't want us to be mentally and physically healthy as much as we possibly can, because we'd be living largely different lives and we wouldn't be voting for the kind of people that they keep sending to Washington. So let's fix that. We, the people. My platform is people first. We're going to focus on that. It's air, water, and food. We're going to talk about that. And I thank you for watching.